Hello, and thank you for choosing Routes for Sale, and welcome to the first introductory video. We have a lot of people who are just beginning their search or have never visited our site before, so we want to give you a quick overview of what we do, the layout, and the information available. You know, we get a lot of phone calls, and if you're being referred over to these videos, this is just to save time and get you as much information as your hands as possible. We like to utilize the technology. That way, when we speak to you on the phone, you have informed questions you can ask us, and we can move you along in the process a lot quicker. It's just a matter of being more efficient. So we're starting here on the home page, and you will notice here these are listings that have either had price reductions or have just listed. By the way, we never know when or where we'll get our next listing from. We do operate nationwide, but here's a quick overview of what we do, who we are, and how we got started. If you notice at the bottom, before I forget, we are now available on all the markets, so you can download our app, whether it's Google Play, Apple, Windows, or BlackBerry. You can also access those here via these icons. If you go back to the top, here's our routes for sale. This is where you're going to find all our listings. If you notice, you can see all our listings here by category and also by state by clicking there. We have it all broken down individually across the nation. You'll also notice that next to every route, you'll see the word View Route. And just to give you an idea, if you click on this, you'll see another page open, and it'll give you a full description and breakdown of this business. Now, most brokers out there aren't going to give you a lot of information until you sign the proper paperwork, and that's true with us too. I mean, that's just protocol. There are non-disclosures and things of that nature that you do have to sign, but we try to get as much information in your hands so you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to move forward without releasing confidentiality to the seller. Again, we're categorized on this page by category and on the following page by state. You'll also notice the sold, pending, or active statuses. Active means, we are formally looking for a buyer. Pending means we have a deposit and a contract signed, and we are waiting on the company for final paperwork for a closing. It's not sold yet. Anything can happen. We do have buyers back out from time to time for various reasons. But a pending status basically means it's in limbo. Sold is obviously self-explanatory and means that the route is no longer available. If you come across one of our pages and it says inactive, that means the route was never sold and that the buyer or seller rather took it off the market for various reasons, whether they had a change of heart, decided not to sell, etc. Again, back to the listings. These are all classified by category. You'll find all our independent bakeries located at the top. You'll see Arnold and Bimbo type bread routes here, Flowers bread routes, Martin's routes. Pepperidge Farm has bread routes and cookie routes. We'll get into that in another video. There is a huge difference, and there's a big price difference with those routes as well, and we'll explain why. Mission tortilla routes are pretty popular across the nation. We also have Snyder's Lance, various chip routes. We have another agent that handles ATM and soda and snack vending machine type routes, as well as bulk candy. And we also get into FedEx routes. And we are not limited to these routes, but these are the most popular ones that we do represent from time to time. We do get other routes like pharmaceutical routes and things of that nature. But the FedEx routes we'll go into as well in another video, and that is a different business model than what you're going to find from the routes listed above. Going back to the top, we have here where if you do currently own a route and you're looking to sell it and you want to be on our site and advertise with us, basically just enter your information here. Just to give you, in a nutshell, what we do. We have no contracts. We do all the advertising and qualifying at our expense. If we find a buyer, we get paid. If we don't, it's risk-free. You owe us nothing. So if you're looking to sell a route, just fill out that information. We'll get you a free consultation. Testimonials. These are some feedback from our customers. We take great pride in what we do, and our customers have given us the feedback that shows or is a testimony to that. Financing. We get a lot of questions for this. We will address this in another video as well, but bottom line is half our companies offer some type of financing at a corporate level. The other half of the companies just don't want to be involved with that type of transaction or the liability of financing, so they require it to be a cash deal. Again, we'll go into this, but we do have a source we can refer you out to. It is, somewhat stringent guidelines unless you have a cosigner, but that's where we're at with banks. Banks are not lending money freely, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that, unfortunately. The bottom line is if you don't have some type of money to put down on a business, you're not going to get 100% financing. So we most likely won't be able to help you out if you're not working with some cash to put down. As far as the buying process, I mentioned a little bit earlier that, in order to get in touch with the seller, where you're going to need to basically execute a non-disclosure and show us some type of financial documentation that shows you have the ability to purchase. We'll go into this in another video as well, but the bottom line is we have, a lot of interest. We get 8 to 10 people calling a day per route, so we can't overwhelm the seller and just dump these people in the seller's lap. I mean, they are exposing you to financial documentation, they're running their business, and of course exposing you to the account. So it's somewhat understandable we need to eliminate those who are just kind of kicking tires at the moment and get the serious people in front of the seller. If you want to visit our frequently asked question, there's some overview of general questions that we get from time to time with answers. Future listings, this is very popular. Right now, nationwide, we have about 4,000 to 5,000 people, potential buyers looking for routes in their area. We get calls all the time asking us if we have a route available in a specific city or state. Unfortunately, it's so hard for us to keep up with this request. We pretty much list routes as they come in. So we never know when or where our next listing will come from. So we advise you to sign up for this, and we will do an email blast every time we get a new listing. So you can just kind of monitor the subject of the email, and if the state applies to you or if it's interest to you, let us know. But you'll get notified right away if you're on that. Very easy to opt out of. We do not spam. Again, I mentioned the technology. We try to get as much information in your hands as possible. The phones ring off the hook. Again, we can answer 30 to 40 emails. Email is always going to be the quickest way to get in touch with us. We can answer 30 to 40 emails in 30 minutes as opposed to calling 3 or 4 or 5 people in 30 minutes. So that's where we're at with technology. So again, if you can utilize the site, get as informed as possible so that way when you call us, we can answer your questions efficiently.